You've seen their husbands on the Forbes list. You've seen the yachts, the private islands, the companies worth more than entire countries. But the women standing next to these men built lives, careers, and legacies that often outshine the bank accounts. From a Zimbabwean classroom to a Parisian piano stage, from a Soweto medical clinic to the deck of a $500 million super yacht, these are the wives of 10 of the richest men on Earth, counted from the smallest fortune to the largest. Some built their own empires. Some quietly run philanthropic operations bigger than most corporations. All of them prove that behind every fortune is a story money alone can't buy. Number 10. Tsitsi Masiyiwa. Titi Masiyiwa is married to Strive Masiyiwa, the Zimbabwean telecom billionaire behind Econet and Cassava Technologies, worth over $2 billion and a board member at Netflix and the Gates Foundation. But inside their world, everyone knows who actually runs the philanthropy: Tsitsi. Born in Harare, she earned a business degree and an MBA from the University of Zimbabwe. In 1996, she and Strive co-founded the Higher Life Foundation, and Strive has said publicly the entire program is her creation, down to the scholarships. Over 400,000 children across Africa have been educated through her work. In 2017, she launched her own platform, Delta Philanthropies. She holds honorary doctorates from Morehouse College and Africa University. And in 2018, she and Strive received the UK's Points of Light Award for their work fighting poverty and disease. Strive built the company. Tsitsi decided what it would actually stand for. Number 9. Precious MOLOI-MOTSEPE. Before she married South Africa's first black billionaire, Precious MOLOI-MOTSEPE was simply Dr. Moloi, a physician who trained in Johannesburg and at the Medical College of Virginia in the United States. She met Patrice Motsepe at the University of the Witwatersrand. Both grew up in Soweto. Neither came from money. They married in 1989. Patrice built African Rainbow Minerals into a multi-billion-dollar mining empire. Precious built her own legacy alongside it, opening one of Johannesburg's first women's health clinics in 1993, then founding African Fashion International in 2007, pushing African designers onto the world stage. In 2013, she and Patrice became the first African couple to join the Giving Pledge. In 2019, she was named Chancellor of the University of Cape Town. Forbes calls them South Africa's richest black couple. Precious built a resume that stands on its own. Number 8. Titi Adenuga. Titi Joyce Adenuga is married to Mike Adenuga, the Globacom founder worth close to $7 billion and one of the most secretive billionaires in Africa. She met him decades ago at a now-defunct merchant bank where she was simply job hunting. Titi is from Delta State, a graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University. While her husband almost never appears in public, Titi built her own visible platform through the Titi Adenuga Foundation, funding education for underprivileged children across Nigeria. In 2016, she was named one of the 100 most influential women in Africa. Her husband has no public profile. She built one anyway. Coming up, the American billionaire's wife, who survived segregation alongside her husband for nearly 50 years, and the tech wife with a Stanford PhD who refuses to live like a billionaire at all. Number 7. Thelma Stewart. Thelma Stewart is married to David Stewart, founder of Worldwide Technology and the richest black person in America, with a fortune past $11 billion. But the marriage started in 1977, long before any of that existed. Thelma has a nursing background, and she spent decades raising 2 kids, while David scaled a tech company from nothing into one of the largest black-owned businesses in American history. Their daughter Kimberly went on to produce the Oscar-nominated Manchester by the Sea. Their son David II now runs Lion Forge Animation. In 2013, David and Thelma launched the Stewart Family Foundation together, directing roughly $10 million a year into education, the arts, and underserved communities. In 2018, they funded the David and Thelma Stewart Institute for Jazz Studies at the University of Missouri-St. Louis. She didn't marry into the billions. She was there for every year it took to build them. Number 6. Penny Knight. Penny Knight is married to Phil Knight, the Nike co-founder worth roughly $35 billion. They met when Phil was her professor at Portland State University, and they married in 1968, 16 years before Nike signed Michael Jordan, before the swoosh meant anything to anyone. Penny and Phil have given away more than $1 billion together, including a $2 billion gift to launch the Knight Cancer Institute in Oregon, the single largest donation to a university in U.S. history. In 2004, their son Matthew died in a scuba diving accident, a loss the couple has spoken about publicly while continuing to build a philanthropic legacy in his memory through campus buildings and scholarship funds. Penny rarely gives interviews and almost never appears at red carpet events. She built her influence in university boardrooms and hospital wings instead. Number 5. Nita Ambani. Nita Ambani is married to Mukesh Ambani, chairman of Reliance Industries and one of the wealthiest men in Asia, with a fortune well over $100 billion. But Nita isn't simply the wife. She's the founder and chairperson of the Reliance Foundation, one of India's largest philanthropic organizations, and she owns the Mumbai Indians, one of the most valuable franchises in the Indian Premier League. She also founded the Dhirubhai Ambani International School in Mumbai and has served on the International Olympic Committee, the first Indian woman ever given that seat. Nita built a public identity in sports, education, and the arts that exists entirely apart from her husband's industrial empire. In a country where business dynasties run on family name alone, she carved out one that runs on her own. Up next, the Stanford scientist married to one of Google's founders, who has spent nearly 2 decades deliberately staying out of headlines, and the woman who went from local news anchor to one of the most photographed women on the planet. Number 4. Lucinda Southworth. Lucinda Southworth is married to Larry Page, the Google and Alphabet co-founder worth tens of billions of dollars. They married in 2007 on Richard Branson's private island, with Branson serving as best man and 600 guests flown in on Page's own jet, including Oprah Winfrey. But the wedding is the loudest thing about her. Southworth holds degrees from the University of Pennsylvania, Oxford, and a PhD in biomedical informatics from Stanford. She's spent her career as a research scientist, not a socialite, and the couple has kept their 2 children almost entirely out of public view. Through the Carl Victor Page Memorial Foundation, she and Larry have donated tens of millions toward global health, including the fight against Ebola in West Africa. She's married to one of the most famous entrepreneurs alive and has built a life almost nobody recognizes her in. Number 3. Priscilla Chan. Priscilla Chan is married to Mark Zuckerberg, the Meta founder worth roughly $200 billion. They met as undergraduates at Harvard and married in 2012, the day after Facebook went public. She's a pediatrician by training, and in 2015, she and Mark pledged 99% of their Facebook shares to charitable causes through the Chan-Zuckerberg Initiative, a pledge worth tens of billions of dollars over their lifetimes. Chan didn't stop practicing medicine because her husband became one of the richest men alive. She co-founded a free medical clinic in California before Facebook even had 1 billion users. And the Chan-Zuckerberg Initiative now funds biomedical research aimed at curing and managing all disease by the end of the century. She's one of the few spouses on this list who built a philanthropic infrastructure rivaling her husband's company in ambition. Number 2. Lauren Sanchez. Lauren Sanchez married Jeff Bezos, the Amazon founder worth over $200 billion in 2025, instantly becoming one of the most photographed women on the planet. But long before the headlines, she was an Emmy-winning news anchor and the founder of Black Ops Aviation, an aerial film production company that's worked on major Hollywood productions. She's also a licensed helicopter pilot, a detail that matters, because Sanchez became the first woman to command a Blue Origin crewed spaceflight, flying alongside Bezos' own space company in 2024. She didn't marry into relevance. She built a media and aviation career first, then married one of the richest men on the planet. Few women on this list combine glamour with that kind of hands-on technical resume. Number 1. Hélène Mercier-Arnault. At number 1, Hélène Mercier-Arnault is married to Bernard Arnault, the LVMH chairman whose fortune has crossed $200 billion, making him, depending on the week, the richest or second richest man alive. She is, by most measures, the richest wife in the world, and she has built almost none of her identity around that fact. Born in Montreal, Mercier began playing piano at age 6, trained at the Vienna Academy of Music and Juilliard, and has spent over 3 decades performing as a concert pianist with orchestras across Europe, Russia, and Asia. She met Bernard at a dinner party in 1989, and they married in 1991. Despite controlling roughly 75 luxury brands through LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Tiffany, and more, Mercier reportedly avoids wearing the labels her own husband owns, choosing her music career over the spotlight his empire could hand her instantly. She still performs 20 concerts a year. At home, by family rule, only Bernard is allowed to play Chopin's nocturnes on the piano. Everyone else just laughs about it. She could disappear into the wealthiest household on the planet. Instead, she still shows up to rehearsal. 10 women, 10 different continents of influence. Some built foundations bigger than charities most countries run. Some kept careers in medicine, science, or music that have nothing to do with their husbands' companies. None of them are famous only because of the size of a bank account. They're on this list because of what they did once they were standing next to it. If this opened your eyes to names the headlines never mention, hit like, subscribe for more stories the world skips past, and drop a comment with the next power couple you want broken down.